Hey guys, welcome back to D&D with Filthy and Friends. Quick recap of the last episode. We have scouted out a little bit more of this monastery, getting a sense of what the layout of this is, what's happening down here, where various things are. Some of our group is now joined in solidarity in deep mourning for the loss of our fifth party member, and some of us seem to have either missed the memo or seem unconcerned by such a gesture. We're going to continue on. We've discovered that this location that we were beginning to scout out seems to be the location mentioned in a manual, kind of in in a book that we had found earlier discussing the true origins of this monastery and the darker power beneath it. This seems to be the location we've just found, seems to be the location the Lich had warned us against. So for the time being, we are going to leave that area, come back better equipped and with better knowledge of that, perhaps at a later date. In the meantime, we're going to continue our primary and more pressing issue of finding the delegation and tracking down these bugbears. So I think we're going to continue from there. And if you guys want to leave comments about how stylish everyone's hats look or something of that nature, feel free to. I will definitely pass them along, good or bad. Let me just stress that. All right, let's get going.
Finding the rest of the delegation, because we found some of them.
We found one member, right?
Yeah, right.
Yeah, we're still missing Desena, Rudorth, and Teresiel.
All right.
Teresiri, that guy.
Okay.
So right now, still our best lead is just assuming that there's more actual bugbears to the west through this sort of fallen in.
Yeah, there really isn't anywhere else it can be now. We've scouted the entire bottom of the monastery. It's either in that room with the Arcana doors or it's to the west.
Right.
And So, all right.
Let's lock up this gate real good before we wander off, please.
Yeah.
Okay, I like that.
Yeah. And we'll hold on to that key for long-term safekeeping then. I don't think we need the Abbess's bedchamber door or whatever the fuck it was key, but we would like this key forever.
Good call.
Okay. All right. How do we want to approach this barrier here? I mean, we can press ourselves flat and crawl through. It seems to be we have good line of sight. There's nothing to suggest that might not be the most efficient use of our time. I don't really want to dig it out unless there's a reason to.
Maybe digging it a little bit so that if we have to retreat, it's not like a giant bottleneck that we all die to. Like trying to climb back through. I mean...
How long would it take to make an easier passage, not an open passage?
What, with all four of you?
Mm-hmm.
10 minutes, half an hour, depending on the effort you put in.
Yeah, let's do that. I'm fine with that. I can put 10 minutes to a half hour of hard work for a day. It seems good.
Okay. You guys get working at that, passing rocks to each other, whatever. Maybe using, bits of magic or whatever to help you, like cantrips, maybe, whatever. And, you get it out of the way. It's now... You can walk through it. You might need to crouch a bit, especially for the tall elves. Easy for you two to just walk in. Kevin, Xilo. But yeah, you can now walk through the path with ease.
Cool. Then press onward.
Onward and westward.
Right. Okay, so you walk. You just keep walking until you get to the end of the tunnel, right? I presume. Mm-hmm. Okay, so it's going to take you about a quarter of a mile.
Okay.
On foot, and you get out, and you end up outside somewhere in the Somber Hills.
Oh, interesting.
Outside of the valley that the monastery was in?
You presume so, yeah.
So if because I come out of this tunnel and I look behind me and there's no monastery. There's just a rock wall or something. Okay.
Yeah.
There's no way for me to communicate with my familiar, is there? To tell it that I've gone somewhere. I guess it's still in the monastery.
Right.
Well, I guess you'd do that, I don't know, when you got out of range.
Give it a standing order.
You can feel the disconnect, I guess, so you maybe know when you're about to lose range of it, and you could tell it whatever you wanted. I would say that's perfectly legitimate.
Okay, well, I'll tell it that I'm going west as we enter the tunnel, and maybe it could look for us? I'll tell it to look for us. Is it... I don't know if it'll find us or not, but I'll tell it we're going west. You could scout in the air.
So, I assume that there's bugbear tracks that someone might be able to follow.
Ooh, good suggestion.
Do you guys want to roll survival?
Well, I don't want to, but someone does.
Well, you have jack of all trades. You get to roll on everything.
Whoops.
And since we've
Yeah,
done
I know, but I don't want to. I can, but I really
we
don't want
added
to.
that rule specifically so we don't have to deal with shit like this, right?
Mhm.
Those of us who have it can roll it.
So, do you get advantage on survival?
I
Kevin?
don't. Nope.
Yeah, you can see there's tracks coming out of this tunnel, but you can't really discern what type they are.
And can we kind of guess where we are on the map, basically?
Yeah, so you're about here.
Is that the monastery? This here?
Yep.
Okay.
Wait a minute. I've totally done this the wrong way around.
Okay. We'll unsee that.
That one. Can you see the one above it?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's where you are, sorry.
Okay.
We came out northeast despite heading west the whole time?
No, sorry. Just a bit. I got my locations wrong.
Okay.
So you guys are more like, I don't know, like here, I guess.
Okay. I mean, we only traveled a quarter of a mile, Thaddeus. And these are like 4-mile blocks. So.
Right. I just if that little gravel spot is the monastery, then
It's not.
it's
It's-
not.
Just
Okay.
ignore that.
Okay.
I know that it has been for the past 9 episodes, but it's not now.
Okay, I don't think we ever saw it on that map.
Yeah, I never
You
did.
noticed it.
You did, but don't worry.
Okay.
We'll just switch those two. 'cause-
None of us remember it, so like it didn't
Yeah.
happen.
Sure.
Right.
So we have a choice now between either going back to the monastery and just taking the surviving people back to a town, or following tracks that we can't follow.
Well, he didn't say we couldn't follow me, so we couldn't tell what they were.
Oh, so we do have distinct tracks going in a specific direction. We just don't know what type of tracks.
West, southwest, north, kind of just like at this sort of arc.
Heading off into the hills.
They're splitting
Okay.
up. Or there's enough traffic.
It's hard to tell. They're like moving as a big group, maybe spreading out, and then you can see some maybe going off to the west, maybe splitting up a little bit, depending on how far you guys are going to try, follow any of these kind of thing.
Well, same arguments as before. We have, do we have reason to go back to town? If so, what? And otherwise, do we have reason to keep chasing closely after remaining elements of the delegation?
Does Tim, have you got connection with Mr. Nibbles or not?
I haven't heard anything from him. He's meant to be on lookout.
Oh yeah, no, sorry, he was coming over as you guys came out, so you
I
can
found
see
him.
now.
All right.
I thought I said that.
So if you can get an answer about whether or not there's roads or paths or anything within a mile of here, that would give us either a direction to go or a recognition that this is just a scattering into the hills and there's nothing really to follow.
I have a second question too, Adam. Is there maybe perhaps with the information we're gathering from Mr. Nibbles, is there a way to reach on foot what we've just reached by going underneath the monastery? In other words, is this a hidden area that's kind of that you'd only get to by heading beneath the monastery, or is it something we could probably get to through the hills regularly with our horses, for example?
You mean like riding up to this location
Yeah, could we?
where you are now?
That's what I'm asking. Are there alternate ways to get to this location we're at now, or is it really this is kind of blocked by that passage to the monastery?
So I guess this is another way into the monastery, and you could get to this if you like rode around the valley and came into it. But you'd have to maybe, I get. So there is a more difficult trail leading sort of this way. You guys sort of went up along here and followed it like that. But this is a very hidden. Like you could get to this area where you are, and you might not immediately notice this large mine because it's obscured by lots of brush, for example, and it's a very small entrance. So it's obviously like a secret.
Sure.
Secret entrance kind of thing.
So now that we've seen it, can we orient in such a way we could find it again?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I think, doesn't Steven's character have that thing where he remembers where everything is all the time once he's been there, or whatever it is.
Maps and geography.
Yeah.
Right. All right.
So it's either go back and escort the remaining guys, which has some value because it keeps them safe, or pressing forward.
Yeah. We have horses.
I believe that anything bad that happens to those civilians because we've been neglectful falls directly on our moral compass. We cannot leave them behind while we continue.
Aw.
All right, I don't have a strong preference either way. I'm not sure that we have belief in a pressing time now. We have some information. I'm okay with bringing them back if you want to bring them back.
Same here.
All right.
So, question is where? Do we try to get them to Summit Hall?
I think so.
Yeah.
Ooh,
'Cause
we
that-
can't get
that
over
means-
the river.
With the river? Yeah,
Well,
I think
we
it's just Bargewright.
Well, we could go downstream again, looking for wherever those dwarves live, right? Or came from, or wherever their farm is, or...
They
Actually,
should set up
thinking
a
about
ferry
this-
business.
Yeah, they really should. Thinking about it too. I mean, what's this distance? They're 4 mile squares, right? So
Yeah.
this is 20. I mean, think about the distance they are traveling to the nearest town from here. This is 12, 16, 20, 24, 28. It's 28 miles to Larch, and it's probably roughly the same down to Bargewright Inn in Wamford. So, I mean, we're doing a lot of civilian escorting for the next while. If we do that. That's quite a lot of hiking to do for children on foot.
It's a long time in game, but
Yeah, I know. I'm not worried about it like that, but I'm just saying that.
Mhm.
Yeah, we're putting several days into this unless we get them someplace safe and then get them passage somehow.
mhm.
I mean, that's the other thing we could do is get them out of this area where the clear danger is. And, you know, you talk about the dwarves that lived on the river. You know, we could just start that, you know, a sense of like drop them there. So we get them out of this danger area. Don't have to go all the way back to town ourselves, but they can, you know, I mean, these are the people from this area who have disappeared in the hills. These are probably their neighbors and friends of this area.
Okay, so for sure we agree that we're gonna go back through the tunnel and meet back up with the villagers. So for sure, let's just say we've done that. And so now it's just essentially coming to the decision of where we take them. And I kind of agree that just going to the dwarves is probably a really good step one.
Okay. So I don't know how many children you said there were, Adam, but as many as we can who can ride on the horses, they can do that as we walk to make slightly better time.
All right, so where are you taking them?
South down the river, looking for the dwarves that we encountered last time.
Okay.
And who
Well,
were they?
and
They were,
Mr.
like,
Mr.
lads.
Mr. Nibbles can scout a little further afield. I mean, if he flies up and isn't just like in bow range, that gives him a much farther field of view.
Sure.
And I can remember where we saw them fishing as well.
Yep.
I would recognize that area.
Cool. All right. Sounds like the skeleton of a plan.
Okay.
So
Roll wisdom for me.
I'd like to make sure I've got a little bit of cheese, bread, and fresh water before I leave civilization here.
No.
Wisdom, everybody?
Yeah.
Oh, you have -1/+1 as your modifiers.
I have no idea. I was just looking at that. It's supposed to be -1.
Did you set a global modifier?
So Sniven, Chakolth, and Thaddeus all remember that the dwarven fishermen said they lived at the Bargewright Inn.
Oh shit! Right. So it's
Gosh.
they were just 25 miles north fishing. With a boat. I guess they could have come up from the boat. They did say that it was their job as fishermen. So they could have gone. I mean, I guess I don't know which way this river flows. Does it flow north or south?
South.
South, yeah.
Well,
Children float. Can't we just toss them in the river?
shall we head down the river?
Yeah.
Toward the barge, right?
I don't.
So-
I don't think Summit Hall is in range of us. So I think that's our other option. Is that or Larch again?
So
yeah.
let's just
the
go to
terrain tail red
Bargewright.
larch seems scarier. Yeah, barge right seems better.
Let's just go to Bargewright and essentially fast forward 5 days. Or 3 days.
Well, unless we happen to cross something that gives us another option, like crossing to Summit Hall.
Right.
If we don't bump into something like that, then obviously we're going to keep hiking because we're not going to just turn them loose in the wilderness.
We have like provisions and
Yeah, it's a good question.
how are they sleeping? Like this seems fairly ill-equipped.
Well,
I can
mean,
hunt a
we-
little.
We don't have many options, though. I mean,
Well,
we could
we-
basically
we-
take all the rations from the monastery.
yeah,
We can grab
we have plenty of brandy. for the
some of
children.
the bedrolls and stuff.
Yeah, it's basically just take all the shit from the monastery that it would seem useful for the trip, and if we're lacking stuff, we don't have a better option.
If we're doing a long rest, I could use summon steed and let someone have the one that I own and ride my summoned one.
Okay, so we can be. I mean, sure. We have 5 horses
Right.
between 21 of us, I think.
Right, but that at least gives us a couple more spots for the smallest kids
Yeah.
to not slow us down to.
Assuming they can ride.
Sniven
We
does
can
not
tie
have a
him on.
horse.
Well, I mean, I think we're in agreement that we're going to bring them.
Bargewright.
Say again.
2 Bargewright.
Yeah, but we're gonna escort them, so we have to just do
Right.
that. So, I think rations from the monastery, have them help collect. Put the more wounded that if we can do anything for healing or whatnot, we can spend some resources doing healing. If we need to, designate these people to carry stuff because they're more healthy, so be it. Try to put as many children on horses as possible, and otherwise get them out of here.
And see if Mr. Nibbles gives us a hit on anything that even if it's a village of 15 folks,
Yeah.
that gives us some piece of civilization and maybe a cart we can buy.
Yeah, and as I said, like these people have been abducted from these hills, and this is sparsely populated in between towns. This is probably like farming and whatnot, small farming villages or fishing villages where people are going to know each other. So some of these, we could actually, thinking about it, we could ask the individuals here if they know of any locations.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Where's your farm, kid? Where's your dad?
Yeah, let's do that. So
He
we'll
starts crying.
I slap it and then I pour some bourbon on him or whatever it was. No,
Brandy.
Yeah. All right, Adam. I think we have a rough sketching of the plan. We're gonna ask the collective. We'll come back out of the underside of the bottom side of the monastery, and we'll come up to the group of villagers, and who are rescuing, and we'll ask any of them. The nearest large town from here is the Bargewright Inn settlement. Do any of you from anywhere closer or know somewhere closer? We're happy to bring you all the way down there if we have to, but it's hard for children, under-provisioned children who have had such a traumatic experience to be traveling this far on their own. Is there anywhere closer we could bring you guys?
Okay, so a couple of the adults step forward and explain that Bargewright Inn is probably the closest location that they're aware of, unless you were going to take some of them to Red Larch. Some of them were traders that were taken on the way to Red Larch, coming through the Larch Path in the Somber Hills. They've obviously lost all of their stuff from there, but they don't care where they get taken as long as they get taken somewhere safe. So it's really between you guys whether you go to Red Larch or the Bargewright Inn. Both are a similar distance and a similar place for them to be safe.
Let's go Bargewright Inn. We haven't been there yet. All right, so that's what we're doing.
Okay, so all of you go in and collect all the bedrolls and all the stuff and all that stuff you mentioned. Okay, so that's going to give you, I'd say, enough provisions to get to either one of these locations, which is fine.
Yep.
So you travel. So what? It was like 4 a.m. I guess. So you guys are going to travel. What would our speed be now? Because now everyone's not on horses. I guess we're going to drop down to what?
Probably half.
Walking speed.
We're
2
probably
miles
leaving.
per hour.
We're probably leaving around dawn, right?
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah,
I
I
don't think
suppose
we wanna be-
we would come out of the monastery, we would join them, sleep till dawn, wake up, have this discussion when they're all up, and then leave while it's light out.
So
Sounds
8
good.
a.m. the next day,
Yeah, sure.
and we're going to go at 2 miles an hour.
Yeah.
So what's that? That's
What did we
2
say? It was
hours.
about 28 miles.
I love road trips.
what's that? 14 straight miles of walking.
Yeah,
Oh, walking
14
is
straight
just
hours,
the
rather.
best.
Yeah, so it's probably 2 days. It's probably 2 full days of walking because we'll probably do 7 or it's children. Like 7 or 8 hours of travel is probably about what they're gonna be able to handle at the optimistic side of that.
Does Mr. Nibbles not like see a farm or anything anywhere within 4 miles either direction of us?
Mr. Nibbles is
anywhere near
enjoying
the
the
hills.
walk on my shoulder. We just love being outdoors.
Oh, I guess he's not flying around, so.
Yeah, he was.
Oh,
Tim.
Lazy Nibbles.
Oh man, 28-mile road march.
Yeah.
Okay. So you get to, I guess, here on the first night,
Okay.
and you guys set up camp. Is there anything you want to do?
Yeah, we want to take watch in our standard watch parameters.
Yep.
Let's is the damn it, what's the name of that dwarf? Malabar. The Malabar? It's not Malabar.
The one in the party with you now?
Yeah. I was
Wolfman.
just gonna say, is he well enough to be supportive in a fight? Are any of these folks well enough to be supportive in a fight? Can we hand them staves or anything?
I mean, you guys have already left the monastery, so.
I start
Right,
teaching the
but
children
there's-
how to kill things.
I mean, some of the farmers have used, like a scythe and stuff like that, so they know how to swing some kind of polearm, I guess you could argue. The dwarf is more of like a healer and a sage, so he might be like maybe supportive in a fight,
All right.
but he's
So-
not like a cleric or anything. So
All right. So let's just leave it alone. Yep, I'm first
And-
watch.
And while they're doing that, Tim will set up in the center of camp with his tambourine, and he'd like to perform the saga of the unlikely hero Jurth.
okay,
It's fair.
excellent. You
Sniven
wanna do
will
a
happily play some music to
performance?
Tim's performance.
You want to tell a story, Stephen?
That was beautiful.
There was once an unlikely hero. He didn't look as beautiful as me, or maybe you. Mostly me. He might not have had the best brains, but he had the best heart. And ultimately, that was his greatest strength. And also, as the point of Chakolth's sword proved, his greatest weakness.
And I have nice filed teeth to go with my tattoos. And when they say that about the ogre and Chakolth killing the ogre, which I assume goes on a little bit more than that, so the children understand it, I grin at them with like the teeth bared. So
Okay. Lovely.
I think them fleeing into the night is probably counterproductive. But
I'm doing this in good spirits, the kind of joyful shrieking that children have when they're like mock frightened. That's what we're going for.
Yeah, they kind of get that, and a couple
if
of them
occasionally-
look
a couple of them-
absolutely terrified.
Yeah,
and
but I
run away
don't.
From you.
Do I notice that? Because
But-
I don't think I do.
No.
Okay.
You
This is-
intentionally
to
don't
you,
notice that.
this is a normal response from children.
Yes.
All right.
There's times I hate my life.
And this is one of them.
All right. So I guess
Okay,
these
so you
are
guys
long
sleep.
rests.
Have a long rest.
Sure.
Yep.
Okay.
How does the watch go?
I'm first.
Right.
Everything is fine. Everyone wakes up.
Cool.
All the children are still here.
Everyone's still there.
No one bothers coming.
Okay.
That was a good try, though.
Yeah. All right. Back
You
to
guys set off?
trudging along. Yeah.
Okay. Are you using a steed again, Kevin?
Yeah,
Or
once
anything magical?
I summon it, it remains. So,
What, forever?
yeah, until it dies or I send it away. I think I've got it.
All right.
One sec. Let me see if I actually pasted it. I'll grab it out of the journal.
So it's an
Okay.
exciting 2 days of walking.
Sure. So you guys make it to the Bargewright Inn. Sorry, I was just trying to find some information on it. Really. Let's see.
Well, while we're here,
Yes, indeed. How large of a settlement is this? Do they sell magical items?
it's an inn.
Surely the Bargewright Inn is a settlement.
I know.
Okay. I guess I can just describe it a little bit. Let me see. Once a hilltop wayside inn, this site has become a walled community of ramshackle, often rebuilt wooden towers and buildings now entirely cloaking a hill that overlooks the village of Womford across the river. As you arrive, the Bargewright Inn reeks of manure and filthy mud. It seems to house blacksmiths, dealers who buy and sell horses, mules, oxen, wheelwrights, coopers, wagon makers. There are inns, stables, warehouses, 2 concentric rings of high protective walls with gates.
With guards.
Yep. There is a very large inn, which you know from here in, excuse me, back in Medlarch as the old Bargewright, which was rebuilt as a big stone structure with thick walls, private chambers, etc., as you'd expect from an inn. Yeah.
Can we see roughly, like, on the other side of the bridge, like, is Womford like clearly a vastly bigger like town?
Okay, 2 seconds.
Yeah, but the good part about Bargewright, though, is we know those dwarves here, and we could help them disperse the villagers back to where they belong and whatnot.
Right.
You know that Womford is a tiny village that has a dock on the Desserin River for shipping the grain from its mill. It's the local supply and market for the surrounding farms where the grain comes from, so you can see a lot of grain farms on the outskirts of this place. It looks like there's a handful of granaries, maybe some cottages. There could be shops in there, maybe. Yeah.
So which is bigger is what I'm mostly asking.
Just
Probably
about size.
very similar, I'd say. You'd probably get more people in the Bargewright Inn area because it's got larger structures overall.
Gotcha. Okay.
But they're probably about the same size in general. Obviously, the Bargewright has got big walls.
Gotcha.
So it's going to have guards, whereas Womford might not.
Gotcha.
Where do you guys want to go?
Well, I think we might need a slightly thicker piece of armor for our dwarf here. Do we have the funds to take care of that? Is it worth swinging by a blacksmith after we've taken care of these villagers? Or do we want to take care of villagers first, then worry about such things?
Probably villagers.
All right.
And then shopping.
Did our 4 dwarven friends, who all sounded like Lad and Thad and whatever the hell else it was, do we know where we could find them?
You'd probably expect they live in one of the small houses around here, maybe. Or they could be permanently residing in one of the inns if they can afford that.
And
Suppose we just
is there
go to
some?
the-
Well, one other quick question. Is there some sort of town government of any sort?
Are you asking around town now, kind of as you arrive?
Sure.
Okay. You want to roll investigation? Whoever's doing that. If it's just you, or if someone else is proficient in it that's helping you, or if that's what you're gathering as a party.
Yes.
Roll investigation if you're proficient in it? Oh my god, yes.
Okay.
All right. Anyone else?
I think it's only our bard is proficient in everything but doesn't like rolling, and Tim. Okay. Got it. It's convenient. It's like a familiar who doesn't fly. I like it.
I don't like abusing that, man. It's the same. It's like.
Delo, we have a ruling specifically so it isn't abuse.
I know.
If you don't take advantage, okay, at 17 is probably fine.
I know.
Okay. You find out that. Oh, I just closed fucking Roll20. Hang on.
Okay.
Because I'm an idiot. I was going to link a name for you. 2 seconds.
No problem.
But But yeah, so Tim gets speaking to some locals, a couple of farmers, maybe a couple of traders, and he finds out that there's a chap called Chalaska Mururin, who is the master of the gate guards of the inn and has acted as an unofficial ruler for the Bargewright Inn. That's the name.
Okay.
Chalashka Marie Ruin.
Yeah, that.
Right. Great name.
D&D always has simple names, doesn't it?
Well, maybe we split it up. Couple of us run off to find the Dwarven boys, see if they can help out, and a couple of us approach the local leadership, see if they can help out. These are refugees.
Why don't we just take them straight to the leadership?
Yeah, sure.
Maybe Chalaska question.
You also gather enough information to know where the dwarves live, Stephen. Excellent.
Yeah. Okay, so I guess we're going to Chalaska first.
Okay.
Is it cold in Chalaska?
So you guys head up to the main inn.
Well,
That's
wherever we assume that the
main...
the guards are at.
So they're going to be, I guess, inside. There's like a militia barracks that you guys can sort of see when you head over to there. There's 2 guards at the front door. What do you want to do?
Are you talking, Sniven, or you want me talking?
Have you just got everyone following you all the time, by the way?
Yes.
Generally.
Yep. We got a procession of 17 kind of real beat up.
So even before you get to the barracks, 2 guards run up and approach the party. Who is like going to greet them as they arrive, or who would be the person they'd speak to at the head of the party?
You're welcome to, man.
All right.
It doesn't make a difference. Flip a coin for all I care.
All right, that's fine. I'll say I'll be at the front. So do they say something as they approach?
Oh there, travelers. You bring many people to our town. May we assist? These people look tired and weary and...
Yes, one of our members is a Paladin of Mirrodin, and these villagers, these townsfolk had been captured, and we've freed them. We seek to find aid for them and help for them.
We see a guard talking to a couple of guards, and they start running off. Oh, at once! We can help provide some food and water and shelter. And they sort of maybe help escort you towards one of the inns.
All right, as I get a little closer to the guard leaders come over, and when it's not totally audible to everybody else, I say, also these people have been through severe hardships. I think it would be very helpful to have some help in helping them find their families. Children have been stolen from families, and mothers, fathers, and children separated. Some people have died. If you could just alert your local governor or local leader that these people are in need of aid, anything you could do would be well appreciated.
Okay, so he sort of nods. Yes, absolutely. The other guards will prepare some of the rooms in this inn, and he points at one of the smaller ones, and we will empty it of patrons. If there are any, they can move to another one, and we will dedicate this place for them. And I will run off to grab Chalaska, and he sort of disappears.
Oh, that's surprisingly accommodating.
Right.
Wonderful. All right. Well, easily done. Easily
Decent
problem solved.
people.
Thaddeus, does that what's the word I'm looking for? Does that discharge your obligation to your god?
I am satisfied. I still need to return and bless and restore that shrine. However, I believe that I can send others in my stead in the meantime to secure it and begin the process.
Okay. Do you
Tell
need
them
to
ignore the lich?
Do you need to check in with your shrine in some way, your god in some way, or your order in some way?
Or hire people to go and begin that process if I cannot find someone that will do it because of duty.
Okay. How much... Kind of out of character, I guess I don't have to ask this directly, but how much money did we take as a whole out of that monastery?
Whatever I told you.
Yeah, I'm not asking you, Adam. I'm asking my other members.
I thought you were writing it all down.
I thought you were writing it all down.
I have.
You were translating everything into gold.
Here's another. Yes, I did. For everything I picked up, I have marked in my inventory as gold. But how much money do you guys have?
I have 10 gold pieces.
Okay. So I have
I
7.
have
Go on.
just all the gold that I started with, which is 500.
Right, exactly. So there should be. I feel like that's what I have 750, and I believe I started with around 500 as well. So I think I have the 150 I found plus the 100 I found. I think, but I think there was a big chunk in the middle that someone else was supposed to be accountable for it, and I don't have. So I'm asking who has that. There was like a party loot section, but there's nothing in it.
There was 1050 gold at the end of last session.
Okay, so that
Is that
hasn't
what
been
you're
added.
missing?
Yes, that's what should be added to the party loot, the 1050.
I'm
It was-
basing that on just remembering the numbers, so I'm not 100% sure that's accurate.
Shit, we really should track this better.
Yeah. Okay.
Because there was like all the stuff in the abbess's room also, and like that was like converted to gold
Well,
also. I thought someone was doing.
Perhaps someone can check the end of that episode after this one or something, and we can find out exactly what the other items are. But for now, the gold is the relevant part. And if we overspend, we'll take it out later or something like that, right? So we'll
Okay.
keep it, but for the sake of moving things along. All
Right. Okay.
I guess what I'm getting at is I would really like to pool
Buy
enough
armor.
income for Thaddeus to get the next level of plate. Would be
Yeah.
really nice.
Agreed.
So maybe we could devote party funds for that. Does that seem reasonable?
Oh, it sounds good to me.
Cool. All
I
right.
can have most of my portion. I'd just like to write a few spells down in my spell book.
Yep.
Give me a
sounds
few
good.
hours and some gold.
Okay. So let's start doing our various tasks around town. We can do this simultaneously unless you want us to RP some element of this or expecting stuff. We're going to head to the blacksmith for Thaddeus, get him measured, set up what we want, see if they have anything in stock, or if not, how long they need. We want to set up some sort of... We're looking for either members of his order or potentially, if not, some sort of courier service that we can send a letter to orders of his members of his order, rather, excuse me. And we're looking for supplies or a spot for Tim to copy stuff to his spellbook.
And if if there are not members, if there are not priests or worshippers of Morden, they're willing to do that as part of their duty, then I need to put some of my personal funds toward mercenaries to at least go up and hold it until the courier can get to the appropriate people.
Okay. So I guess we'll start. We'll do each one individually, I guess. So you guys look around the blacksmiths, and you find that there's no one really here capable of making... You're looking for like a magical version, right? Because it's
No.
going to be +1?
No,
or...
just normal armor.
He's currently wearing like the cheapest type of plate, which is 16 AC.
Chain. I'm wearing chain.
Right, and what's
So
the next...
is this something that you can buy normally from the
Yes.
PHP?
Yeah, it just
Right.
costs a bunch of money. I think it's like 1,500
Right, that's
gold.
fine. So this town, you have access to everything you have normally from, the general startup when you start the game, the PHP.
Cool.
So if there's anything you want from that list, you can buy it.
Perfect.
So
So
if that's
find,
armor for Kevin, then
find us whatever the top... I think we can afford top tier plate right now. So if you can find us whatever top tier plate costs, Thaddeus, then we'll be good with that.
I'll have a quick look.
Okay.
Plate armor for 1,500.
Yeah.
Like,
I think the party funds are 1050 right now, and 200 more, 1250 250 more. So I guess it's 1,300 party funds right now. And do you have any personal funds, Thaddeus?
I'm at still pretty close to the 500. I've barely touched it.
okay, but it's essentially spending 1,500 for plate armor, the best heavy armor for Thaddeus, is something we're all good with, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Okay.
there are no people here devoted to Morden. So what would you like to do?
Send a courier to the nearest appropriate shrine or monastery.
You mean like out of the place you're in, out of the Desserin Valley, or
Wherever it needs to be.
all the way to Mirabar, if they have the ability to find the appropriate priests to reconsecrate it.
Yep.
And if not, then any group of dwarves that can stand there and hold it and be respectful of it and start cleaning up all the dead folk.
all right. Can you write that? Like, you don't have to do it now, but you can do it, like, I guess, in between the next session. If you want to write me what letter you send.
Sure.
Cool.
And then I can have that as a handout for us to look at, and I'll say that that's en route. For example, that you said to Mirabar, we can go with that. And then what was the last thing you wanted to do? Find somewhere for Stephen to, like, what do you just need? It's just parchment? Or no, you don't even... Do you need any specific things to copy stuff into your spellbook?
I think I'd just be able to do it wherever
I think so as well. You just have
costs
to
me
sort of...
gold. I don't know why. I don't get that.
It's supposed to represent like special inks and shit
Yeah, it's
like
supposed to be
that.
magical inks and magical parchment type
Right.
of stuff. So
Okay, so the only question I have for the party is I have 4 spells that I clearly want to copy because they provide some sort of CC and stuff. I also have an Erupting Earth and a Snowball Swarm, which are just like, they're just damage.
Mhm.
Do I keep those as scrolls, or do you think I should be learning those?
It's really good to have at least one AoE. Because
Okay,
there's-
so one's a Dex AoE and one's a Strength AoE. So I think if I want them as an AoE, I'd take both. Or maybe it's better to have Fireball.
I think
Learn it.
Fireball's pretty amazing. It's a higher damage AoE than pretty much any other AoE at that level. It's just fire based, and fire is not good versus lots of different creatures. So it's kind of, I think options are pretty valuable for you, and I think the impact of one extra, because you're the only one who can cast your class's scrolls. So it's not like we can give a snowball AoE to Thaddeus. He can't use that scroll. So it only ever
right.
be you. So it does supplement your total number of spell slots to have scrolls on you. But I would rather err on the side of you having the versatility to basically sleep on it and change your spells up. So I would recommend copying them unless there's some reason not to, unless you think it's really valuable to have a snowball scroll. And you should. Did you spend a lot of money in your character creation?
I'm trying to remember what I spent money on. I bought like a health potion and studded leather armor. So I spent most of it.
Okay, so
yeah.
you're not just miscreating then, because you should have a fair chunk of change.
No,
Okay.
I'm pretty sure that I
Okay, that's cool.
put it in my character.
Sure. So how much money do you need for that?
It's 300 gold to copy all 6 of them.
Okay.
and you should be able to cover that.
Wait,
on
I
your
think
own,
it's per spell level, so it's more, actually considerably more.
We'll find out what it is.
Let me look up the rules, yeah.
Okay. All right, should we cut this part? Let's like a slightly shorter episode and then have a slightly longer one for the last one. It would probably be about 35 and 50 for that, and give us time to kind of do the bookkeeping in between sessions so we don't broadcast
Sure.
that.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, guys, then we're going to cut it here. Thank you very much for watching. We'll see you soon.